Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan, and in this video we are going to be recapping the NFL honors. Obviously a fun thing to watch every year. Looked a little different this year, but I personally think they did a great job. I thought Steve Harvey was a great host and that it really was, a fun time to just celebrate so many memorable people and moments from an NFL season. That truly was like no other. So we're going to recap the ceremony, the awards, and really everything that went down on that night, what we agreed with, what we disagreed with, what awards we would have given out differently. We're going to break it all down starting now.
Yeah, and I do feel like across the table we do agree on most of the things that happen. There are some things that have some controversy, which we will get to, but all these players that won these awards, they all deserve it. They've all done something great, whether it's on the field or off the field or both. So with that being said, let's go through the awards and kind of what went down. You might have watched it, you might not have watched it. If you haven't watched it, then that's probably why you're watching this video. And if you have watched it, then we're still going to recap it just in case you want to know a bit more about each individual thing.
Yeah, and we're giving you our opinions on it as well. So
Absolutely.
So yeah, you get to hear some opinions on if we thought this was right or wrong. So let's start with the I guess less important ones, but I mean all these awards were important. And that starts with the smaller awards like the Fantasy Player of the Year. That was Josh Allen, the Bills quarterback. I like that one. I thought that was a good one.
I do too. I had him on my team. He was a integral part of the success my team had, making it to the playoffs. Didn't get far in the playoffs, but a strong regular season. He really took a big leap in his third year, a leap that I anticipated. So I was super fortunate to get him in the draft when I did. So Josh Allen, you deserve Fantasy Player of the Year, and you helped my team and many other teams across the fantasy football world. So congrats to you and for really, your fantasy impact, but also the great time you're having in Buffalo and, turning that team around into a championship contender.
Yeah, speaking of the great time having in Buffalo, I thought that maybe it could have gone to his wide receiver, Stephon Diggs. Tyler, you had him on your fantasy team, and I do feel like he had a lot of value on your team as well. Because he's the quarterback, I'm
Especially
sure
in
he
that
had
last game.
Yeah. But Diggs really had a fantastic season, so I feel like him and other guys should be thrown in there as well.
Mahomes didn't win any awards, which is something to point out.
Never mind, I can't say that. But
well, you kind of just implied it, so that could be meme.
This video is coming out after the Super Bowl. We're making it on the night of NFL honors, so it's clearly pre-recorded, but yes.
We'll come back to that depending on how Sunday goes. You guys know already.
It's on video, but I've said it plenty of times off video.
Yeah, and one thing I just want to add to the, Josh Allen discussion is I think what made him so valuable as a fantasy player is because he threw the ball really well. He could get over 300 yards, occasionally, into 350, 400 yards, but he could also run. He got a lot of rushing touchdowns for me. That was something that was valuable as well. So just kind of having that dual threat where we could throw for a ton of yards, used his weapons well, really showed growth and improvement. I know there's an award like this in the NBA. I don't think there is in the NFL, but most improved player. I think if that was an NFL thing, I think he'd probably win it, no question. So yeah, I definitely loved watching Josh develop for himself, his team, but also my fantasy team, of course.
All right, next.
I beat you in the playoffs.
I beat you 2 times before that.
I beat you when it mattered.
I beat all of you.
That's true.
I won the championship.
That's also true.
Anyways, next one is the Clutch Performance Player of the Year. I think this one was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It was the Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins against the Bills.
Can I just say, if you were watching that, Kyler Murray's outfit was something.
Yeah. That was.
It wasn't completely awful. I thought it was kind of an interesting.
Derrick Henry's outfit was.
I was going to say that too when it got to him as well, but.
Kyler
Kyler Murray was wearing it was like a white plaid and he had really short shorts on. Yeah. I didn't hate it. I thought he looked cool. It was just not what I was expecting. I couldn't help but giggle.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's looked like the Seahawks color rush or something. Like that was wow.
Yes. All right. Assistant Coach of the Year. I did this one. Just making sure. No, Dable. I didn't. Dable. That was another one that we I think unanimously agreed on.
Mm-hmm.
Should have gotten the head coaching job as well as Eric Bieniemy.
Shocked he didn't.
I think he just didn't want to. Bieniemy just got snubbed of it for some reason.
Yeah.
But, that's a whole other story.
But for both of them, they're in pretty good situations right now.
Those are the two guys, I think, that you look at. And it's weird that both of them are still going to be staying with the same teams most likely next year. So that was a good one. Just going through this quickly. I said we're doing this in important, least important ones first, but this is an exception to it. I'm just going down from top to this list. The Walter Payton Man of the Year is the most important award. I think most people should think.
Prestigious is what they always say.
Yeah, I think it's also the most important. That went to Russell Wilson. What was the foundation called that he had?
Why Not You?
Yeah, Why Not You?
Also had another one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole video was playing about it. It was pretty cool to watch, and I'm glad for Russell Wilson. Not getting any MVP votes, but Walter Payton Man of the Year, I think, is more important And thank you, Russell Wilson, for everything you've done for our world.
Yeah, I think this is one that was overdue for Russell Wilson because when I had Russell Wilson on my fantasy team. I follow him on Instagram, and he's a player that, as an NFL fan, you see a decent amount of time, and he is someone that you could just tell he puts time into the community, he cares, and I think this was overdue for him. I think he definitely deserved to win Walter Payton Man of the Year. Can't I can't say the name wrong because he's right over here. Walter Payton Man of the Year on this side.
Yes.
On this side is the locker, but he's on my
He's
side.
there,
Yeah. So that just goes to show
Thank you, Walter.
the award is very
Thank you,
important
Russell.
that he's being displayed down here on the set of the touchdown table. So Russell Wilson, congratulations. You deserved it, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like all 32 nominees really are going above and beyond in their work. But I mean, just looking at Russell Wilson, he did absolutely deserve this. And I really did like his speech. I thought he had some, really touching points talking about his family and his late father. That was something that I thought was a cool moment and a cool story for him to share. And, just talking about, how unprecedented this year was. And then also, I like the story how he talked about right after he got drafted, he already was volunteering to visit the hospitals, and the person who worked at the hospital didn't even know who he was yet.
I feel like I heard that before too.
Yeah. I didn't hear that before, but I mean, clearly, you guys did. But I thought that was a cool story. But I thought Russell, really just a class act, great guy on the field, great guy off the field. So certainly deserving of this award. Loved his speech and just loved his overall message of hey, why not you?
That's right. All right, back to more of the actual football element of it all. Coach of the Year now went to Kevin Stefanski. And I don't know. I don't think any of us at the table think this was the right choice. I think he was right up there with the best of them this year. And we'll get into our arguments first. Jordan, we'll start with you, and we'll just move towards me. Kevin Stefanski, congratulations. You're the Coach of the Year. It was deserved. We just think there was some guys that might have deserved it a bit more. I think, Jordan, you disagree with it too, right?
Oh yeah, I do. And
Okay.
I don't completely hate it. It's not the thing that I think is going to really just get me very angry or anything. I think he is a good choice to win it. There's really no awards that really got me angry. There's some that have some controversy behind them. There's not many, but some. This is one of those. I think Kevin Stefanski did a great job. I forget exactly what it was, but I remember every time they were on prime time, or at least when you're watching them, they talked about their Zoom conferences and how in the world of Zoom, it's hard, especially with a full football team, to really get them engaged. But they went around telling all their stories. It's the 3-something. It was the 3 B's, D's. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they went through and they each shared 3 things to kind of get to know each other more. And I think over Zoom, in the crazy world that it was, he did a fantastic job getting the players together in that way. So I feel like that is a big part of it. Also, team played well. He got the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs in his first year coaching there, so that is definitely a great feat for him. So very deserving. I thought that maybe Andy Reid should have won it just because he's been doing so good. I think he's a really good coach. He has been for a long time, and just because his team is so good that he kind of gets overlooked a bit, I feel like this was his year to do it. He got to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, for heaven's sake.
He's got to win one eventually. With the Chiefs.
Yeah, so I just thought this would be his year because he had another great year, as we usually have seen from him. But I have no huge complaints with Stefanski. I just thought maybe Andy Reid would have been a bit better. Ryan, you have a different take, and your guy actually wasn't nominated.
Yeah, I mean,
he might have been, as far as
he wasn't in the video.
Yeah, I don't think he was, at least from me recalling it. But yes.
Yeah, but I mean, before I even get into who I want to say I do not hate the Stefanski winning by any means. I've been a big supporter of the Browns finally making it to the playoffs. I was happy for them. And I was really high on them from the beginning of the year. So, I mean that fan base deserved it. And for him just getting a team that's been left out of the playoffs for so long, just getting them back to the playoffs, having them win a playoff game against a hated division rival, that alone puts you in the conversation. So I by no means hate, Stefanski or the Stefanski, winning of this award. I thought he did a fantastic job with that team. So just want to get that. Andy Reid, Jordan mentioned, could have been another guy in there. Maybe Brian Flores could have been in there. Some other people as well. There's just so many.
LaFleur was also one that was put in there. I don't think he should have won.
Yeah.
In fact, if he won, that would be one.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, but you kind of have this guy called Aaron
Rodgers who won MVP.
Yeah. But anyway, my
MVP spoiler.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. I mean, we all knew it was coming.
You better know that by now.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that coming, but my person who I thought should have won Coach of the Year is a little bit of a surprise, but it's Ron Rivera of the Washington Football Team. And yes, I know they went 7-9. I know they won a horrible division, but I just look at what he went through and the situation he inherited. Because let's just look at the quarterback situation that he had to deal with. Alex Smith, great comeback story. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that next. So yes, but still a guy who's almost 2 years removed from playing. And then he has to go with Kyle Allen and then Taylor freaking Heineke in the playoffs. Like, what he got out of what he worked with, I think, was really remarkable. And just the fact that they were competitive in that playoff game against a team that, ended up winning at least the conference. We don't know. Maybe they won more than that. Again, we're recording it before the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to, assume everything. But I think the way that he really got the most out of his guys and got the most out of his quarterbacks really stood out to me. But even some of these other guys like Cam Sims, Steven Sims, Logan Thomas, who was like a quarterback at one point, I think he really got the best out of his players. And I think that he's a guy that's a great locker room guy, really just a great, genuine person. Everything you see about him is good. Everything or everyone that, has worked with him or has played under him says good things about him. But I really look at the situation Ron Rivera inherited when he went to Washington. There was the whole mess with Dwayne Haskins. There was some other things going on, in the, higher levels of the organization that were not good. I'm not going to, get into that, but, it was not good. And I just think Ron Rivera inherited a great situation, or a poor situation, but is starting to turn it into a great situation, to clarify. And I really think that Washington needed a culture guy to be that head coach, a guy to help, kind of turn the ship around in Washington. He is doing just that and more. So I think he should have won this award, but by no means is Stefanski a horrible choice.
And also important to mention, he went through cancer and he got over it.
I completely forgot to mention that.
So that's a very important thing to mention with his story as well. So a really cool thing to see from Ron Rivera.
And coaching through that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a huge inspirational story, just like the quarterback that we're about to talk about next. After I give my case, which is different than both of yours, so that's funny. We all have different people that we thought should have won the Coach of the Year, and neither of them are Kevin Stefanski. I thought Sean McDermott should have won it. I did. With the Bills, this is a year that they have not had in a long time. They've made the playoffs. I mean, at least recently now, but before that it had been a while. And going to the AFC Championship game and running into that buzzsaw named the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think that takes away from their season very much. Of course, they want to be playing that Super Bowl. But I just think getting what they were able to get out of Josh Allen, same thing with Stephon Diggs, implementing him into the offense the right way, that's on Dable as well. But, you got to keep that intact. We knew Diggs was kind of a guy that you got to be careful with, and everything seems to be going perfectly fine with that. And Cole Beasley also had a better year. And then he's in charge of that defense, who was getting better and better as the year went on. Still wasn't great. Room to improve there. But I just thought it was an unprecedented year for the Bills. And I thought McDermott should have won it. I think it was very close. Kevin Stefanski definitely did deserve it as well. And I was critical of him heading into the season when I heard of the hire. But I'm glad you've proven me wrong so far. I just thought you deserved to lose just by a little bit to Sean McDermott.
And I'm going to say something that's going to sound dumb, but I'll explain it. And I think that McDermott might not have won it because he got an extension on his contract. And so he was almost expected to do better. I feel like the Coach of the Year a lot of times goes to the newer head coaches, and went to Nagy with the Bears. I'm a Bears fan, so I know a lot about that situation. I feel like it goes to the newer guys. Of course, it went to Harbaugh last year, which we don't think it should have gone to him anymore.
Yeah, but they did a lot better this year than last year with these awards.
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like it goes to the more younger guys who take a team who not doing too good to something really good. So, of course, I think McDermott deserved it, just like I think Andy Reid deserved it. That's why I had him winning. But the fact that he was signed and was expected to do a bit better because he had that extension, I think that could be something that goes towards it. Like I said, it kind of sounds dumb, but if you think about it,
sometimes you just got to think about it. But, I think all three of us have, great, opinions and, great cases for the guys that we think should have won it. But, again, we all agree that Stefanski did do a remarkable job with the Cleveland Browns. I did not even know who he was when he got hired, but once I, learned more about him and what he was going to bring to the Browns, I quickly liked the hire. So, by no means are we trashing on Stefanski.
Yeah, that one took a bit. That's just because we all disagreed with it and had our own different opinions on it. So we'll be moving quicker as this goes on. There's absolutely no controversy.
Yeah, there
with this
should
next
not
one.
be.
Comeback Player of the Year. It's not
there was nobody other. There was nobody else nominated.
No chance. I mean, comeback player of the year was Alex Smith, and it's not even close. He's probably named the award after him. That's how good this comeback was.
I agree.
We all know the story. I mean, we had to go into it with what happened with his leg. He thought he could die at one point.
Had to amputate his leg.
Yeah, and
he mentioned the amount of days. It was 700 and something days that he went through all this rehabilitation and little steps up and then big setbacks, but. Went through the process and in the end got to his end goal.
Yeah, and then brought his team to the playoffs. I mean, it's just incredible. You guys can add on if you want, but there's no debate that he deserved to win.
There really is no debate, and I do want to add on because I think his story is truly just an inspiration. Just hearing his his speech, although he wasn't actually in person, just hearing him and seeing him talk about his journey, it's just so awesome. Just to hear him stress elements of persistence and trusting the process and taking it day by day was something that I thought was really cool for football, but also for life in general. I just thought that was an awesome speech that he had, and just a guy that has earned the respect of literally everyone because of the way he persisted and just took it day by day. And honestly, like they were actually playing the Texans. Washington was the game he got hurt, and at the time he got hurt, I didn't know that it was going to be that bad. But just seeing the journey, the struggles, the uncertainty, the fear, the doubt that he went. I'm sorry, I got to say this. It was just truly remarkable. So Alex Smith, you deserve this, no question. I mean, there's just no debate. I mean, like this award is made for people like him and for stories like him.
Yeah, I mean, we can go on talking about this. It's a really awesome story, and I'll just say this: name the award after him. That's how awesome it is. Tyler mentioned it. I truly believe it. That's how great the story is. We can talk for days about it. We're not going to do that because you probably wouldn't want to see that, and Tyler's getting a little frustrated over that. We're talking a bit too long, so we're going to move on to the next one.
Yeah. To be honest, I thought this was going to be a quick video, but I'm glad we're analyzing as we should.
You should know by now that we make videos that would seem short.
Yeah, like picking 2 games could take us 25 minutes.
Yeah. The Super Bowl video took us like half an hour.
Well, it's the Super Bowl.
But yeah, that one makes sense. All right. Anyways, Chase Young, Defensive Rookie of the Year. That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I think we all agree on that. Had a big impact coming in. It was kind of fun to watch on the sideline and on the field. We all expected this. I predicted it.
He's a really good leader.
Heading into the year, I think it was a pretty obvious prediction, so I'm not going to be like, haha, I predicted Defensive Rookie of the Year. That was an obvious one. So
yeah, very well deserving. Again, I mean, just the impact he had. That Washington D-line is looking good, and he's going to be a big part of their future. I mean, not much else to say.
He missed time, and he still put up some really good stats on top of it, too. So, great season from Chase Young. We are expecting it, though.
Yeah.
All right. Staying with the rookies, Offensive Rookie of the Year was Justin Herbert. We all agree with that one as well. Justin Jefferson was right there in the mix with it, so it was no disrespect to him, but seeing what he did, even breaking rookie records, breaking what Baker Mayfield was able to do in his rookie year with the touchdowns and all of that. It's just a great year for Justin Herbert. Would have been interesting though. I was just thinking about this as I scrolled up to it. But if Burrow hadn't played the whole year, that would have been a nice little competition to see between those two.
It would have been a 3-way race probably.
Yeah. So Herbert, completely deserving of the award. Congratulations to you. You guys add on.
Well, I had him in my fantasy league. Did some really good stuff for me. I really like him. I think he's be a great quarterback, a quarterback of the future for the Los Angeles Chargers. We actually just did an off-season outlook video for the Chargers. So if you want to hear more about Justin Herbert, you can watch that if it's even out yet.
Coming out.
Yeah.
Later.
So stay tuned. We don't know,
yet.
but it might be out. Might not. If not, stay tuned. If you want to hear more about Justin Herbert, why wouldn't you? Because he's awesome. Anyways, deserved to win this award. Shout out to Justin Jefferson as well, who had a great season.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Justin Jefferson too, so I'm glad that you kind of segued into that. But real quick, I'm going to mention the first Justin Herbert, who won the award. What I noticed about him is he did not look like a rookie. He looked poised. He looked better than he looked at in Oregon, and I was high on him coming out of the draft. So he really exceeded even my expectations for him, and I had him as my number 2 quarterback heading in. I think he exceeded a lot of people's expectations, but the thing is, there were so many times where he gave his team an opportunity to win or close out the game, but they just couldn't. And I think that's the key with Justin Herbert is he put that team in good positions so many times, and they just couldn't come through in the end. And we all know that was kind of a theme for the Chargers this past season. But I think Justin Herbert, he deserved this award, but Justin Jefferson had an outstanding year. Obviously, had big shoes to fill with replacing Stephon Diggs. So this is very, very close, but I do give the nod to Justin Herbert, and I think they got this right.
All right, next one. There's going to be controversy in here. I know I have controversy with it. Aaron Donald winning Defensive Player of the Year. Great player. I mean, he's won 3 out of the last 4 seasons this award. He's amazing. I just thought T.J. Watt deserved it this year. And maybe that name, Aaron Donald, was like, oh, yeah, I'll pick him. He had a great year. He had 13.5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, 28 quarterback hits, 4 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. Incredible year for him. I just thought T.J. Watt deserved it a bit more. I'm not angry about it. I just thought Watt would win it. We want to see a new face kind of with this award. It's been a lot of Aaron Donald, but he's just been so dominant. I'm not completely against it. I just thought, as I said, T.J. Watt was my winner for this one.
Yeah, and you know who was against it? J.J. Watt, one of TJ's his brother. He posted something about it, saying how T.J. Watt played one less game, but basically led, or at least against Aaron Donald, had more statistics in almost every significant category. He had more tackles, sacks, tackles for loss, pressures, QB hits, pass defenses, and interceptions.
And the ones that he had more, it wasn't like between 1 or 2 on most of them.
No,
it
yeah.
was a decent margin.
Yeah,
as
like
well.
tackles, T.J. Watt 53, Aaron Donald 41, and according to J.J.
It's
Watt,
also looking at the position, it's a lot more difficult on the interior of the line to do that than on the edge. But I mean, you're saying best player. I mean, look at the statistics.
I feel like tackle for loss, though. I feel like as a defensive tackle, you might have more tackles for loss.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it's horribly lopsided. And I have a pro Aaron Donald point that I'll mention in a second. But just looking at the statistics, T.J. Watt should have won this award. I do think, that's the case. And I do think, even especially with him playing in one less game, that's what J.J. Watt said. So I'll assume that's true. I feel like he would know. But yeah, I do think
T.J. sat out that Week 17 game.
Oh yeah, that you're right. So that was it. So I think T.J. Watt should have won this. And J.J. Watt even said in that tweet, it's not about Aaron Donald. I mean, we know how good he is, but at least you'll go in a second. But I mean, Tyler and I would guess you think that T.J. Watt should have won this award. We'll see. But I do want to say one pro Aaron Donald point. Aaron Donald's almost always double or triple teamed. And T.J. Watt was part of a great defense in Pittsburgh, so you couldn't really just hone in on T.J. Watt. So was Aaron Donald, but I feel like in Pittsburgh they had a lot of good linebackers specifically.
So was T.J. Watt.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I got to give Aaron Donald fair point with him being on that D line. He's double teamed, triple teamed almost every play.
Yeah, I do think it probably should have been T.J. Watt, but Aaron Donald is a game wrecker. He's at a different position than T.J. Watt, so as a tackle, it is a lot harder to do some more meaningful things than maybe an edge rusher. Plus, as you said, Donald is always being covered by a lot of people, and I feel like if you're going into a game, of course, both of them are game wreckers, but I feel like if you're game planning as an offense, you're game planning more to block Aaron Donald than for T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
I'm not a defensive coordinator, or an offensive coordinator, so maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my feeling that I would have. They're both game wreckers, don't get me wrong, and it's very close.
Second to last one is the Offensive Player of the Year. I agree with this one 100%.
Yeah, the highlighter one.
Yeah.
2,000-yard club, a bunch of touchdowns, 17 total touchdowns. Insane season for Derrick Henry. No arguments from me. I think Jordan has a case.
No arguments from me either. So
I think you still
Jordan
thought Derrick Henry. Did you think Derrick?
Oh yeah, I did. I just like Travis Kelce,
did?
so I thought it should have been. I would have liked to see it.
Oh,
I didn't think it was going to happen. I think Derrick Henry definitely deserved to win it. The highlighter, I should say, Derrick Henry definitely deserved to win it. But yeah, that was. I mean, it was a pretty obvious award.
Yeah,
it went right way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of highlight reels for him this year, and he looked like
he
the
finished
highlight.
off the season with a good one.
Yeah, he looked like a highlighter in that thing because his neon colored.
Yeah, and even in such a great stadium as SoFi Stadium, which was in the background, I think, he really stood out. So.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, last one was the MVP. No surprise here. Aaron Rodgers winning it. So no arguments at this table.
No.
We've been saying for a long time Aaron Rodgers should and will win this award.
We've had plenty of discussion.
It was just a conversation, or it was just a confirmation of this today. I thought it was funny that he mentioned Pat McAfee and AJ and all the guys from the Pat McAfee show because I watched that show all the time. He's on it. He was on it once a week during the season. I thought that was funny, but I mean, you look at statistics and he wins it. You look at and just the eye test of watching Aaron Rodgers. He was amazing this year. No question Aaron Rodgers should win this award. Mahomes and Josh Allen also had great seasons as well, but Rodgers was just better than them this year.
You look at the value. Rodgers brought the value to the Packers team.
Yeah, absolutely. And Aaron Rodgers, he's just so frustrating to play against. I mean, there's times you feel like, oh, you're going to get him, and he just somehow gets out of the pocket.
With Allen and
Mahomes, I know, but Rodgers has always been like this, and it's really just a whole nother level with Rodgers. And he also, he makes the players around him better. And I'm not saying the other guys don't, but I feel like, is known for that, and that's his reputation. Like, yes, he has Devontae Adams, but beyond that, would his, weapons be really good?
Scantling, St. Brown.
I didn't even know who Robert Tonyan was until, the middle of the season. Like, that just goes to show,
Daphne.
And it's not almost a knock. It's not meant to be a knock on those skill position players. It's just when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, he makes those players better, and that's really why he's so valuable.
Yeah, and one more thing to note now with this MVP, when Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers both have 3 NFL MVP awards. So just something, if you're talking about the GOAT conversation, we've had it before. That's not something we're getting into now. But that's just
Tom Brady's last time he won MVP, he was going to was that the Falcons one?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
No,
Matt
Ryan won that one.
Yeah, because there was a stretch where the MVP
so I think
lost
he won
the Super
when they
Bowl
were
3 years
playing
in a row. Because Cam won it,
Eagles,
lost the
did he
Super Bowl. No, yeah, because there was a stretch. Cam won it, lost the Super Bowl. Ryan won it, lost the Super Bowl. And then Brady won it, lost the Super Bowl to the Eagles.
Okay.
Yes. That's what it was. All right, so that was this video. Thank you guys for listening and watching this video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell. Comment down below if you agree with the awards that we're giving out at the NFL Honors. And check out our Instagram and our podcast. And with that, we will see you guys later.
See ya.